had a chance to review the minutes?
I'll make
from
a
the
motion.
previous meeting?
Second.
All in favor of approving the minutes?
Aye.
All right, we have one agenda item for us today. Mr. Holmes?
Yes, ma'am, I can, I think I'll let the mayor set the stage for this one, and then I can follow up with any of the boring lawyer stuff.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes. Several months ago, we began engaging with really the business community and the community at large to the discussion of things that we could do to enhance public safety. And one of those meetings was a meeting with local landlords who brought to our attention an issue that with our towing ordinance itself, that if amended and allowing technology, which today is so vastly improved from where it was 10 to 15 years ago, that we could make a difference, in particular throughout all of Tuscaloosa, but in particular in our entertainment districts, where we have a number of vehicles that are parked on private property illegally, but someone has to be physically there to have that vehicle towed. So if you can now utilize technology in contacting a towing company to be able to do it, and certainly, you know, even the most basic Ring camera now gives us so much, you can imagine what most of our businesses have. We think technology has reached a point where we need to amend our towing ordinance to give private property owners the ability, if someone's illegally parked on their property, the ability to have that vehicle towed. That will have a positive impact for the city as a whole.
Yeah, absolutely.
So-
Just the entertainment district.
So
Bring up more responsibility of the person that's driving the car.
Yep, and so we certainly think that the timing's right to do this, and this was an idea that was brought by the private sector. We think it has a lot of merit, and so I'm gonna turn it over to Mr. Holmes for the particulars of the change that we're gonna ask the council to consider.
So
Holmes?
this is a very short amendment. What you see in front of you, and I'm sorry, I probably should have put in your packet kind of the full code section. What you see in front of you is we try to, we have to publish in the newspaper these ordinances, and so we shrink down what we have to publish. And so what you're seeing there is one subsection of 21-80. You're seeing paragraph 3B. But you see paragraph 3B in its entirety. The first sentence that you see that requires a property owner or their agent to be present when the vehicle is towed is what is there today. The bold is what we are adding. And so what happens is if you have some large apartment near the strip, and we've got a whole bunch of folks that have come and parked in the parking lot and they're just kind of hanging out, sitting on trunks, doing whatever and don't live there, the property owner has to actually come out there. And if it's 1, 2 in the morning, they have to be out there. Lots of times what will happen is a tow truck comes with yellow lights on and everybody flees. And so it's difficult, if not impossible, to work in its current scenario. So what we're adding is the ability for a property owner in that circumstance, if they have an exclusive contract with a tow operator. So they sign a contract with one tow operator, the signs will say where you can go get your car. Then they can have a visible method of identifying a vehicle. And that would be contained in their contract. So a decal, a hang tag, however they do it. And that tow operator can then, in times when they are having trouble with folks being parked up, they can go through the parking lot, and if you don't have the decal, they tow you. This is, I think, pretty much exactly what they asked for. I think it will work well. There will be more people that get towed.
So the maybe I misheard, but are you saying the tow operator could it would just periodically drive through there and tow cars away without the operator calling?
Through the terms of their contract,
Yeah,
as
that's
long
fine.
as the other cars are, if you're required to have a hang tag or a decal, and the tow operator drives through and there's not a hang tag or a decal, they can tow you.
And what you have a lot of times, and we saw this, I saw it some with A-Days, I had several property owners contact me on Saturday night and say, we can see on our camera system that we have people illegally parked on our private property, but it would take us an hour and a half, 2 hours to get down there, or I'm out of town.
Yeah.
Or the property manager's out of town. I mean, you run into situations, so this way they can either contact the towing company they have a contract with, or the towing company itself can go through and monitor that piece, that property. But again, they have to have a decal system, has to be signage up. But those are the safeguards, but we think this would be a great tool to help us.
And I should probably point out, because I know we'll have some landlords that say, I'm good with how we're doing it now. Anybody that, how they're doing it now can keep doing it how they're doing it now if they're satisfied. So nobody has to change.
Yeah, yeah.
The first thing that comes to mind, and it wouldn't be my problem, but I just think about somebody visiting somebody, but that'll be up to the property owner.
Yes, sir, the property owner, I don't know, I think of when you go down to
The beach.
rent a beach house, right? It may come with two decals. So your apartment, you may have an extra or a guest decal or a guest hang tag.
Councilor Fails, a quick note to that. Scott and I met with probably, 10 landlords representing a lot of the property in town. That issue came up, and what they would do is just kind of how Scott described, maybe on a parents' weekend or an A day or a game weekend, they would just give the tenants some specialized decals, temp passes, so that way that weekend you're good to go, and they can pull them back out, and they fully acknowledge that a boyfriend or girlfriend may get towed if they don't have a decal, but that's just gonna be part of the process.
Yeah, I'd like to encourage some of my.
It would be citywide.
To get
That was
to the
actually-
decal program, so we can get those broke down cars, the cars
Yeah.
visiting and
You
stealing,
see
you know.
a problem for y'all with that?
We vetted it through them. One of my concerns initially was whether or not we were gonna reduce the number of available wreckers for contract towing or rotation for us, but, the folks that handle that for PD don't think that'd
I
be a
would
problem.
think the record companies that have a contract would really like that.
I think we like that. If we could, I'm serious, sure, bring it.
Well, and two, the density around, especially areas like the campus, like downtown, really necessitate this because that density means less parking. But also too, this will benefit, as you were just talking about, Mr. Lanier, across the entire
That's
city.
what I'm saying.
Sure.
I mean, yeah.
Okay. Any more questions? If not, can I get a
I
motion?
make a motion.
Second.
Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, ayes have it, motion passes. Is there anything else to come before the Public Safety Committee meeting?
I just ask council to make sure you check your text.
Okay. All right, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned.